Welcome back to Pop Culture Roll Call, the show where our hosts are watching The Magicians by only viewing the scenes that their character is present for. This is Season 3, Episode 1, The Tales of the Seven Keys.
Welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call. I'm your host, Mike. We watch everything from the point of view of Penny. Left me as always.
It's Stasha. Watch everything from the point of view of Margot.
In front of me as always.
It's Colin. Watch everything from the point of view of High King Elliot, as always.
And right here, right now,
Hey, it's Brian. I watch as Quentin.
we're back.
We're back,
It's season
everybody.
3, baby.
Aw,
I almost forgot it was
the
a new
James
season.
is empty chair.
Yeah,
Oh.
womp womp.
Wow.
He's
We'll
not
missed
here.
you. We'll love
That's
you.
why I
We'll
say
see you
sometimes.
soon.
It is about to be Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah.
About to be
And-
Christmas. Welcome to the holiday season for those of you who celebrate Christmas. If not, if you have any other cold weather holidays that you love so very dearly.
Hot chocolate day. Hit somebody with a snowball day.
And
not another blizzard day.
And honestly,
I'm
it's-
not digging out my car day.
It's not even cold some places.
Yes.
But, you know, if you're listening to something, if you're listening to this right now and you're like, I feel joy because of a word that we associated
Toyota-thon.
to a day. Toyota-thon.
Toyota-thon.
We wish you a happy one of
Happy
those.
Toyota-thon.
Unless your name's Jordan Love.
The Bears
ball
just
knowers
beat
know.
the Packers which in football, and this is very
That's the
crazy right now. Anyway, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. This,
Speaking of Christmas-themed, holiday-themed pop culture stuff, we have
yeah.
a little reminder that we're doing our live stream this weekend.
Yes,
yep,
Saturday
it is December
at 1 p.m.
27th at 1 p.m. Central
Chicago
Time.
pizza time.
Chicago pizza time. we had a bunch of recommendations. We had the Hanukkah episode for the Rugrats, which we're going to try and find. I think there was like the Christmas episode of Community. So we're going to try and maybe like branch out.
Some
of
Bob's Burgers got like solid
Ooh,
Christmas stuff.
I didn't even throw in, but we should find a Bob's, one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows of all
gonna
time. That
just-
would be incredible. They always do a fucking awesome job of their holidays.
They don't miss.
No, they don't miss. They
Yeah.
really don't.
Maybe that Buffy episode. We'll
Maybe
throw
the
some
Buffy
stuff in there.
episode too.
Yeah.
But yeah, check the polls whenever this is in your ear holes. Almost rhymed. And go ahead and give it a vote. And we will see you at 1 p.m. on Saturday, December 27th. And it'll be great.
Can we recall it the ear hole poll?
Ear hole poll.
Yeah, thank you.
Hole poll. The whole poll? Nah, I don't like
No.
that one.
No, don't.
Nope. Never mind. Moving on.
Don't like that one.
Let's jump into season 3, episode 1
Yeah,
of The
welcome to
Magicians.
season 3.
Hey,
I'm
everybody.
so confused.
Are you?
That makes sense.
I didn't see anyone but Margot this episode.
And I only had scenes with you, so
Okay.
that's
Well,
basically so.
What are you two jabronis up to? I think I said that
Before the
last week.
credits.
I have nothing before the
I have
credits.
stuff before credits.
I have nothing before the credits. Why don't
You
you,
wanna
all
me
go
go?
ahead
You
and
go?
hit the
Me go?
thing?
Go ahead.
Okay. I start suited up. I'm wearing a nice suit now, very fancy, very fashionable, but that's Penny. That's always. And I have some dude telling me, "Wake up, asshole." And I'm on the ground in some like basement, like handcuffed with my
Oh,
arms
I was gonna
behind
ask.
me.
It was like this is a spooky kind of thing, right?
I mean, I think
You're
define-
handcuffed in a basement.
I'm handcuffed
What
in
do
a
you mean,
basement with
kind
like a
of?
human
How-
guy.
how-
That's spooky.
How clean is the basement?
I'm not eating off the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you eat off the ground in a clean basement?
No.
I was
had
gonna
no
say
other
you don't
option.
strike. I would maybe eat something off the ground in a dirty basement, but you don't strike me
You
as the
would-
kind
wait.
of person who would do that.
Okay, keep
You
going.
nasty.
I know. I know.
And I call him out for like tying me up. I call him a Boy Scout, and he tells me it's not a good time to be a smartass. He's like, I'm not a killer, but times are strange, and you're the one who broke into my house. And I'm like, well, I'm a librarian, and you were ignoring our requests. The book was overdue, so I'm sent here to get a book.
I love that.
still
Are you
doing your
like James
job.
Bond, like
Yeah.
book hunter? This is hilarious.
I think we just found out how to make that movie more appealing to Stasha.
Oh,
Wait, he
absolutely.
just hunts books.
It's incredible. I'd read
and
that.
he's like, he's not trusting me. He's like, what's the library's real game? I'm like, what are you talking about? Books? That's our game.
It's funny because the library clearly has an actual real game here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And Penny has no idea what it is.
Yeah.
You don't have a poison room if your game is just
Yeah.
lending literature to the public.
But Penny somehow doesn't realize that there is a game happening.
No,
just
yeah,
books.
it's this whole B plot is funny.
B for
I'm not
books?
sure how tight it is though.
Yeah.
It's B for books.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, why do I even care anymore? Like, what is there to care about?
Penny or the guy?
The guy.
Okay.
essentially like, why do you care? What the hell else is there to do anymore? Is my response to that of like, there's nothing else going on besides me just getting these books.
Because there's no magic.
Exactly. And I spot this contraption he has that looks like almost like a makeshift, like what do they call it? Like a at-home, like rig for making like vodka or
a distill, like a still.
Yeah,
a still.
it kind of looks like that.
Okay. Like a big, like metal
With like
kind
the
of
loopy,
bolt with the loopy
like glass
I
tubes and
didn't
stuff.
see loopy, but it's like kind of like a metal thing and
Is there a
brewing.
big copper thing? Or like I'm trying to figure out if this is meth lab or moonshine.
I jokingly call it a meth lab. And I'm like, I call it out, and he says that it's none of my business. And I'm like, oh, it's my Tchaikovsky spell, right? Little something to brew up current. I tell him it's fake. It does not make magic, but it does blow up like a meth lab. So he is trying to use the spell setup that my Tchaikovsky used to like cook up magic.
Got it.
Sorry. Do you think that they're actually drawing a drug parallel here? That,
magic?
Like, to
I mean,
magic?
not yet. Like I haven't seen enough to think that this wasn't just people. I do think that I don't think it's specifically drugs, but I do think that there is something about you have a source of like power and a thing that makes you and a thing that gives you like other special abilities, and that gets ripped away, and you're
Who
like
are you?
clawing and scraping to get it back, which is very similar to addiction. So I think that maybe there's a little bit of a line, but I don't think they're going
I
deep
have
on
another
that.
line that alludes to addiction.
Sure. Wait, and I could see people like if I had magic my entire life and then it got taken away, you would probably have pretty severe like withdrawals from like a just behavioral addiction to having the shorthand of magic to help you solve problems.
I wonder how many people like constantly just use magic like
Mundanely.
routinely in a way that would get them hurt if they try to do it like without it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
like how many
Fillory-
people like don't use the stairs and just jump out the window and cast Featherfall on the way down and then
Right.
Just look at the stairs like, oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously a whole kingdom, because again, Fillory grew its crops with magic, and then the magic went away, and they almost starved to death, which is kind of the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Right?
actually.
And he says this is all Mayakovsky's fault. And I'm like,
That's not fair.
by his fault, you mean? And he then says, made a bunch of apocalypse-proof batteries,
then
did something to turn it all off all over the world,
Yeah.
breaks the incorporeal bond, screws us all. He's got magic. He's free. I'll tell you what one thing Mayakovsky didn't think about. Creatures. They're fine. Whatever they are, it's probably just related to DNA, but they're not impacted. So it seems like magical creatures still doing what they need to do.
Interesting.
I do
That
see a
is
talking bunny later in this episode.
That is really interesting.
And he's like, and he's talking on, and while he's doing that, I like kind of turn around and I spot the book that I need on a shelf. He says we're all fish bait now. Thank God for this place because they're coming. We hear a sound that he gets concerned about, so it does sound like something is coming for us. And I say Karma's a righteous bitch. And he says Karma's gonna we'll kill them all. And I'm like, well, try if you can. And he's like, some of them look just like us. You never know which ones are not quite human. So trying to sow some doubt into...
Okay, so who, though, is he talking about?
I'm guessing the creatures.
What creatures?
Whatever's not impacted. Like, a lot of this is alluding to stuff I have no idea.
Yeah, you don't
Like,
know
I
what's
know
going
what's
on.
coming
It's probably
for
the
us.
first scene of the season or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
probably setting up something that would...
Because he just says, we'll kill them all. And I'm like, if you can, some of them look just like us. You'll never know that they're not quite human. I'm like, I don't know what he's alluding to.
So non-human stuff
Like
is
elves?
basically the
Like-
only thing with
I mean,
magic
the fairy
now.
The
have
fairies.
magic, and
Yeah.
and the wellspring is still off. So like, there are different races and groups. We have magical creatures. I interact with like a magical kind of like being in the woods. We have the fairies and the fae who are still using magic. So magic still exists. It seems like the wellspring and maybe do we know that the wellspring is just kind of the tie for Earth and Fillory?
They're connected
so.
to it.
Yeah, because it seems like magic is just turned off here. Because I can't imagine if you're an old one or whatever, and there's a billion planets and universes and like times folding in on itself, and there's infinite possibilities, and like one speck kills a god, the entire thing. So they probably just
Turned it
Fillory,
on, yeah.
Fillory and Earth.
I
kinda
do get a little more clarity on that later.
Okay,
I
I
guess,
was curious.
The
about
last bit of the scene is while he is focusing on whatever's coming, because there apparently is something. Because he gets his gun ready, I travel out of my bondage, my restraints, grab the book. He turns around, cocks the gun, and I travel out again before he can shoot me.
So traveling is not magic.
Correct.
Seems inherent.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have
I
assumed.
don't think I realized
That's why nobody else can like learn how to be a traveler.
We're rare.
But
Like you can't like
Sorcerer, motherfuckers.
I mean, I think it is magic though, still, but it's like
it's not the same type.
inherent.
It's a different type of magic. The same
probably-
way that like the
Sorcerer
magical
versus-
animals can still talk.
I do
It's-
feel like
right.
that's probably the last.
It's
bit.
DNA. It's sorcerer versus wizard. It's
Right.
innate
Yeah.
versus learned.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, so we're a bunch of sorcerers.
No. I'm a sorcerer. Y'all are wizards.
You're both.
Yeah.
Penny multi-classed.
Fair enough.
I have a scene of Julia and Quentin also in a meth lab looking thing with
Everyone's
the test tubes and
mething it
whatever.
up.
So
I-
we're
Everyone's-
Julia's.
I think people are
make
trying
magic.
to generate magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they know Mayakovsky did it, so they're
Yeah.
trying to like
Figure out how
get
to do
anything
it.
that they can.
Right. And so
It's too late though, right?
He's our
Yeah.
Walter White.
Sorry.
Julia's trying spells because remember last episode she could do a
The
little bit of
spark.
magic,
Yeah.
but it's like failing now. It seems like there's no real like pattern to it, and she's like starting to feel like it's just random when it works and when it doesn't. And so she says, "What if this is like a smudge, a fingerprint left by OLU when she gave me back my shade and she didn't realize?" So, a couple things to unpack there. OLU, I've never heard the acronym before, but is clearly Our Lady Underground,
Yeah.
who we think is also Persephone.
Right.
And I don't know that we knew that she gave Julia back her shade.
I don't think
I
we
don't-
knew
So
that.
Yeah.
there's that.
I mean, that might be the confusion that we had, right? Because Julia was seen without her shade walking out with Alice's, gave it
Yeah.
back, and then
Yes.
maybe Persephone saw that as like a righteous act, and then bequeathed Julia's shade outside of the normal bureaucracy, like
Yeah.
went above, because her palace, OLU's palace, was in the sort of like bureaucratic realm.
Yeah, like
so she's
she's-
obviously tied into
Well,
the
she's
shades.
definitely one of the god. Her Hades over.
Right,
Yeah.
which would
And
make
they're in
sense
like
for
purgatory, effectively.
Right. Yeah.
Right, which is kind of her domain. So
Right.
she saw that and then
She's the big
helped.
boss.
She's the
She's-
big boss.
yeah,
Cool.
that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Quentin's kind of pushing back, like, "Oh, does she seem like the accident type? She's a goddess. Have you met her son?" Is what Julia replies to that. So Julia's like, she's like, "Oh, she's done accidents before. Have you met her son?"
Do we know?
Ooh.
I don't know who that would be.
I'm
Maybe
trying to think.
Reynard.
Yeah,
Oh.
not a bad grip. If we're trying to like season 3, episode 1, start
Build.
tying things to the next season. I should have done that. But there was that I see Reynard would probably be a good call there. I don't know
Yeah.
who else because it's definitely not Ember or Umber. And I don't.
Yeah.
And at least I don't think because you would say both. Like I
Right.
feel like they're brothers.
The only weird thing here is like we start talking about Reynard immediately after, but there doesn't seem like there's like a segue into it,
So
even
that
though it
must
is. Even though it is
It
like the
probably is
next
Reynard
statement.
then.
I don't know.
So then that makes me feel like it is Reynard.
It would have been like, oh, speaking of, like,
Yeah.
whatever,
By
but
the
like
way.
But that's
there's no
sloppy.
transition in the writing there, so I'm like, that's the only like little bit of doubt in my head that it's not Reynard.
Sure.
But effectively, Quentin thinks that she has the magic because of what Reynard did to her.
Got it.
And Julia kind of pushes back on it, and Quentin's like, I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying that like it's a possibility that we should keep in mind, right? And then there's a bit here that like, how like Quentin was depressed after the magic went away, and she like just found me like just chain smoking cigarettes or whatever, and Quentin basically says that like, Julia showed him that there's like a fight to fight here, and he's like, now I'm your sidekick for whatever it turns out you are, so get used to it. So basically being like, Julia's the main character now, and whatever you need me to do to like, further your kind of let's save the world of magic role, I'm here for it.
Interesting.
and then I get credits.
Your credits.
Credits. Mind sluts. Our scene is we're in the room with the I don't know,
The advisors.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
advisors.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we don't have enough money. Like that's kind of where this scene is. What we're talking about.
So the advisors are talking about money.
Yeah.
And we are completely distracted because there are fairies around that are they're fairies, not fae. I keep writing fae in my notes because that's technically also true, but we call them fairies.
Yes,
Okay,
we do.
fairies. But so there's fairies around that they can't see, the advisors can't see. So
Yeah.
they don't understand why we're being overly distracted when they're trying to talk to us about like the most important things going on in the kingdom.
Right. And we're like, yeah, because like she is still in this throne room. Like the other fairies are around. Like we are. One of the elf lady like makes a bunny disappear in midair.
Yeah.
And so like they're like casting magic. So like they're doing magic stuff and we're there too, but it's just not working. Like we just don't really know why we can't access it.
Yeah.
Fen also
Sorry,
is
did you say you made a bunny disappear?
Yeah.
I literally there's no other way to describe this.
She like whispers, and we talk
Is-
about this later. She like whispers to a bunny or rabbit.
Is
and
this
then,
the only time you make a bunny disappear?
Yes.
Well, we allude to a lot more of it later.
Okay, I see this bunny later.
No, you see a bunny later.
I see a bunny?
I get there.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I have this scene. I know why
Okay.
you see a
The
bunny.
bunny, not the bunny.
I think Penny probably also sees a bunny later.
No.
Okay, well, it alludes that you see a bunny. Anyway, we'll get there.
Good. I'm glad you guys know what's going on.
I know what's going on. This Elliot gets a lot of info this episode.
But Fen is also holding a log.
Yes, and whispering it to like a baby, like cooing over
she
it.
like thinks it's
A log?
A
yeah,
log.
like a log.
Like a firewood?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And shout out to Nick Godzilla who's talking about, does anyone like now I'm going to forget the name. Did Laura's theme from the
Twin
TV
Peaks.
show Twin Peaks and Log Lady. See, it all comes together. Was talking to like the Log Lady from Twin Peaks, like holding it and like whispering to it and pretending that
Never
it was
seen
like
it.
a real person. Great show. But yeah, that's it. And you get the shot of her toes
Yeah,
that
they're
were
like-
also wooden, and you get the sense that the
Like
advisors can see her.
the elf or the centaur magic type of thing, toes?
Oh, it must be.
Maybe.
It's wood. It is wood.
And it looks like they're articulate, or at least an ornately carved. They're kind of like
Articulated.
they're like
toes
flush with
can
skin, articulate. But yeah, so we're obviously distracted by all this stuff going on, all this
Yeah.
weirdness, and the advisors are trying to get us to talk about the border and trying to get us to talk about money, and we are just completely uninterested in that because we have, invaders in the castle that we are the only ones that can see. We need to go find a place to talk about this.
yeah, so we're trying to dismiss them.
Yeah.
But even though we've managed to shoo off most of the advisors, the elf queen lady wants to talk to
The fairy
Margot.
queen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fairy queen. Yeah.
Wants to talk to Margot, wants Elliot to get lost, so I dip and you have a conversation, and then you kind of come in and we chat and catch up later.
Yeah. So she basically is. It's not super long. They are just. She wants me to pluck every single earthworm from around the grounds by hand.
Oh, that was I was curious if there was a more specific ask there, but she is just looking for, some kind of like impossible gross task to fuck with you.
Yes, absolutely. And she's holding my eyeball. This is going to be very relevant for a while, that the eyeball, she is constantly holding my eyeball and basically like showing it off in front of me.
Yeah, just torture stuff, right?
That's weird.
It is weird.
Yep, we'll get
Why
there.
would you keep that?
We'll talk about it. There's
Yeah,
actually a purpose
there is a
to
good
it.
reason.
And that's the end of my scene. That's it. Like I basically am like, sorry, I was trying to stop people from starving, and I'm sorry, I'm busy. And she's like, you better hurry then. That's literally the end of the scene. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Just very clearly power tripping.
yeah, absolutely.
100%.
She sucks.
Let's get a couple scenes in here because I have a lot this episode.
Yeah.
So you come into the chamber later, and Elliot and Margot kind of have a debrief after your conversation there. And we sit down. We just sit down, and you tell me about this whole thing that she wanted worms picked by hand. And did I miss a scene here? No. Is this where did she come in here and like know that we're plotting?
Yeah.
Is it basically like immediately? Because I like missed a line in my notes, but we're like
No, you
catching
didn't.
up, and basically immediately she's boom.
I didn't realize that was your next scene. So
Yeah.
right before that, I like walk I'm walking down the hallway
Yeah.
and I try to get a guard to do my job.
Oh,
So
okay.
I wait till the fairies leave and they're like not in the hallway, and then I quickly send him with a couple other people to go
go
pluck
pick all the earthworms.
And then as soon as I go in to talk to you and basically download this to you, she walks in and
Got
she's
it.
like, "Why didn't you do it?" And now she's holding my eye in like a little
Like cage.
wrist, yes, cage, but it's like a bracelet.
Yeah.
Like
It kind of looks
hanging
like
off
a
of her
like a
bracelet.
charm bracelet.
Yeah,
but
except
the only one is
gigantic.
like a big
Yeah.
big cage with an eyeball in it. The eyeball is also very clearly like glass, and there's this. It's kind of, I don't know. It's fine. Only because of the way we watch the show do I focus on this, but like. It's very clearly like a glass eyeball, and it's perfectly round, which eyeballs aren't. And she's like moving it, like rolling it between her fingers, and it's making this like really terrible squishy Foley sound.
Yeah.
And it's like it's clearly not squishy.
It doesn't look wet or soft.
No, and,
yeah.
and there's like and she's like moving it. I was like, that's
Yeah, because real eyeballs
whatever.
are gross.
Yeah, real
Like-
eyeballs are gross. So there's no like veins
Well-known
or
fact.
weird connections bits. Anyway,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. But yeah, so I was curious how we got immediately because I
That's
didn't
why.
feel like we imparted enough information for her to come in and give a shit about it.
But that is actually kind of relevant because like we don't know how she knew. Like
Yeah.
I basically waited for nobody was there, and it was like 2 seconds ago, and somehow she already knew what was
you tell
going
a
on.
guard, and she's immediately there
Yeah,
and knows.
absolutely.
Interesting.
And so then my next scene is when we're talking about the books disappearing from the library.
Got it.
And-
Let me do
yeah.
one more, and we'll jump back in. I'm not sure how much y'all have. I had like
I have a
18.
decent amount.
Okay, well, actually, Quentin, jump in and do one over here.
Yeah, I'll just do a little setup scene. So
Cool.
I'm looking over some like maps and what looks to be a Google search for lesser gods with Julia. And so basically our plan is that we're going to like find a lesser god and then convince them to let us talk to one of the old gods. And
Oh, sure. Start working through the
yeah,
bureaucratic chain.
I guess. And Julia's like, what are you going to say when you get there? And I'm like, I don't know, ask him to reconsider.
I mean, that does like that's an insane thing, right? Like, I mean, I can't imagine the gods that we were already dealing with
Yeah.
were so unreasonable.
Yes. There is no plan.
They're not going to get less unreasonable.
Yeah. And Julia thinks it's a bad plan, not only like basically for what you said, the gods we've dealt with so far, especially the one that Julia dealt with, was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Worst of the worst
And she
kind of
doesn't want that to happen to anybody else, right? Yeah. And so I'm like, well, you don't have to come. She's like, are you going to do like summon a god on your own? And like also summoning a god requires big magic, which we don't have. And so we're like, well, how did other cultures like summon gods when they like because they're the same god, right? They're the Greek gods or whatever. So like, how did the ancient Greeks summon their gods
Temples.
or whatever, right?
Sacrifices.
And that's when that like drug dealer guy, Josh.
Josh, did we get his name right? Was
yeah,
it Josh?
I
It's
think it is
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get a last name here too.
Ooh, I don't
Not in
care.
this scene,
Josh
in a later
Jefferson?
scene. And he comes down the
Groban?
stairs and he's like, I thought there'd be a party here, but like I did couldn't help it over here. I get like he can help us, right? He has a plan to help us.
Of course,
there's
the
still-
drug guy can get you gods.
I'm telling you, he's
There's
something
something
weird.
about Josh.
I don't trust
I
him.
said it from the beginning.
Yeah, I
this
think
is not helping.
This might prove there is not something about Josh, but we will get there.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Because he always seems to like have a solution. Maybe they should rename him Red Herring, like a pup named Scooby Doo.
You know, no, I'm back on There's Something with Josh train.
Oh no!
Is there? I think
I
there's
don't know.
something with Josh.
Well,
He's constantly solving
we're
our
gonna
problems.
end this show where he's actually God, and he's like, "Yeah, I've just been watching,
Nah.
having fun."
I like his character. He's a
Oh.
fun, charismatic bit actor.
Yeah.
Josh
I know, he's
Groban?
fun. Yeah. No.
Anyway.
Well.
That's this. I'll save the next scene for a little tease.
Okay. Cool. Mike, do you have a ton this week? Because I had like 16,
I have
18
two
minutes.
more scenes.
Okay, I figured as much. I don't get 18 minutes with you getting more than you have. So anyway, Elliot's next scene is so me solo here, and Elliot is walking down a hallway talking to a guy that maybe I've seen before. I don't know. I don't remember him. Doesn't really matter. I don't get a name for him here, but we seem to be on good terms. Maybe he was the map maker, or like maybe he like gave me an introduction to the castle when I first became king. We don't see
Okay.
him a lot. But regardless, we're walking down this hallway and we are talking kind of in hushed tones and kind of doing this like some fairies emerge around a corner while we're kind of like whispering and I can't quite hear what we're saying, and then the dude's like, and as you can see, the vines are beautiful, and the cracks in the masonry are from Shelob the Great under war swords. And as soon as they pass, we're like kind of go back into hushed tones, and now we're kind of double talking with each other. We're trying to do espionage, and neither of us are quite great at it. But you can tell that this guy that Elliot's talking to is on the same page and knows about the fairies and knows about, like, he's a confidant of Elliot's in some past scene. I have like filled him in. And I'm talking about like, so what do we do about our like beloved guests? And like Elliot's kind of like trying to say words that if they overheard, it would be kind of hard for them to parse down. And he's like, and the guy's like, oh, well, I'm sure you want to impart the most gracious hospitality onto our most beloved guest. And I was like, yes, the most gracious hospitality, the most specific and gracious hospitality. And he's like, well, if you were to make sure that your beloved guests had the best possible time inside of the castle, one place you might want to avoid is the corridor built by High Queen Jinli the Bookish. And I was like, why would I maybe want to avoid this corridor? And he's like, well, the hallway was made of stone from the Wailing Sea. And the thing about that stone is that some specific magical entities have a very unique and severe allergic reaction to it, depending on where they come from. And I was like, and do you think that maybe our beloved guests would have like a negative reaction? He's like, I would say it would be a positively terrible one that they would probably avoid. So if you're giving them a tour around your facilities, maybe avoid that location. I was like, I see, that kind of deal, right?
Makes sense.
And I kind of give him a little bit of a wink, and then this is my next scene's walking with Margot down that hallway, and that's why we can talk freely.
Okay, I was so confused. Like, why are we just chatting? Because I feel like we just learned that this is not going to work. But basically, we're like, what? So what are we gonna do? This is a huge problem. I am suggesting poison.
Yeah, poison all the fairies.
That's just what we should do. But turns out all of the books about poison have disappeared from the libraries,
and all the books about fairies in general have disappeared from the libraries.
Yeah, they're intentionally like, they're banning books, and that's how you know they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
So
pretty surefire way, actually.
That's what this is all about.
Wow.
So
something allegory.
We do make a suggestion that, hey, maybe we should talk to Edry.
Yeah.
And like pass a message on to him so we can like solve this problem.
Yeah, because the idea is that potentially if the fairies just want the Ivory Tower, is that what we call the castle? Ivory Tower? Yeah. Just want Ivory Keep, whatever. But if they want this castle and Fillory, maybe they only took our books. So maybe if we talk to Edry and we like pass a secret message, maybe he comes over for a visit, maybe he brings some books about the fairies or how to get rid of them, maybe I get to see him naked, it makes me happy, I don't know, but we have an idea. And we kind of like march directly from this scene, kind of a continuous shot, I guess, into the throne room where again the fairy queen is sitting there dangling her wrist jewel of the eyeball and looking at us and knows exactly what we're up to.
And she says, don't underestimate me again. It hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
Because she knows, we're going to go write a letter that we're trying to talk to Edry, and that she's the one who tells us, well, they've wiped the books from there too. And anybody who knows anything about fairies knows now to keep their mouth shut.
Or like a knife will visit their throat or something like that. So
if they want to keep their tongues.
If they want to keep their tongues, yeah.
Something like that.
So we know that regardless, like Elliot tried to find a safe place for us to talk, but that did not work because she still was able to find us even in this like hallway that they should technically be allergic to, so they couldn't have been there, but there was another way that they heard us that wasn't their physical presence. So it's not like they were going invisible and tracking us.
Yeah.
There's another way that they're hearing what we're saying.
Right.
Which is the important bit to get out of here.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What's Quentin up to?
I'm walking up to a party with Julia and Josh. And so we're kind of walking up the kind of a stairwell.
What kind of party? Like frat party? Like black tie dinner? Like concert? Like
we get stopped at the door when... Well, so we're walking up to the party. And you just hear the party noises, right? Nobody's in the hallway besides us. And so we're like, well, how do you know this guy's even going to be here? And Josh is like, and he like takes his phone out and he's like on Instagram, basically.
Sure.
And
socials.
Yeah. He's like, how else are his followers supposed to find him? And Josh is like, I met him on accident at Art Basel. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's where they yeah, it's like an art show kind of, but like it's like for up and coming like oh my god, what are they called? Galleries. And like
okay.
it's like very like people go to Art Basel to like spend
Sure.
like, millions of dollars on art, and then if you have art that people are interested in, it can elevate your gallery. It's like big to do.
Okay.
Are we sure he didn't mishear? And maybe it's Art Bagel.
No.
I mean,
And so he met him at this and kept the party going for 8 days straight. And Josh hits the vape and he's like, best 8 days of my life.
8-day party. It would have to be the fucking best because after like 4 hours at a party, I'm ready to
There's
go home.
so much hydration in there.
Oh, yeah.
So Josh is just like, anyway, that's his thing. He swings in, stokes the party, soaks in the worship, and moves on.
he's a god.
You guys are going to love him. And so we knock on the door. And opening the door is a guy with like a gorilla mask and no shirt. And he like kind of like looks at us crazy and then runs back into the party. And then another guy wearing a top hat like covered in flowers, a black t-shirt, and a white suit comes out. And he's like, Josh, the animal Hoberman, and like gives him a big hug. And this is the god Bacchus.
Oh, that's a bacchanal.
okay. It's a
It's a
bacchanal.
non-stop party. It's the biggest bash that Bacchus has ever thrown.
So Bacchus is like,
I love
you know,
Hercules.
get your fine ass in this bitch. Lucy, bong hit. And like, whatever. And then like, we're about to follow in. He stops us at the door and he's like, come back when you're fun.
Oh, I mean, true. But
I mean-
Okay, so this gives me a little bit of information about Josh.
yeah, Josh is a blast.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't get a throwdown with Bacchus.
Is Josh
if you're
the
not
main
a fucking
And he
best.
remembers him
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
right?
and he has
Like,
a nickname,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
animal.
The animal. If
If
you
a
were out
god's
part-
calling you the animal,
yeah,
the
if
god of partying.
the god of
Yeah.
literally he's called the god of hedonism. If the god of hedonism is saying that you're an animal, what is
Whoa,
Josh up
am
to?
I gonna have to eat my words about him being a dork?
Well, we already kind of gave him a creature that I'm pretty sure he had a lot of sex. I mean, there's like a thing. Hedonism doesn't like slide off of Josh. Something that sticks to him. He's I'm
Yeah,
not sure what
the
it is
nymphs
about him.
earlier,
Yeah, he's the drug dealer. He's got the nymphs going on. He's hanging out with Bacchus.
Wrong.
Which is why Bacchus probably likes him because he's the drug dealer too.
Right.
Yeah, he's the guy, right? He's the hook.
Makes sense.
Hey.
good God.
Anyways.
I'll sneak in a not hedonistic scene. Fucking heathens. It's the goddamn holidays. We are in a city somewhere. And we go into like the kind of back alley of like a diner where Katie is sitting with like an apron on. So she's working there apparently. And she finds out I'm there because I travel and she just hears, hey, like the apron. And she sees me, runs over to hug and kiss me. And then tells me I shouldn't be here and that I don't have that kind of time to waste. And I'm like, it's not wasted. And she goes, she asks if they're treating me okay. And I say, everything's fine. It's all fine. And then she's like, nothing's fine. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, I'm looking at you. There's that. You look good. You know, that's something. And she goes, yep. White knuckling sobriety and forced celibacy is her look.
Interesting.
Forced
And that's
celibacy?
That one I don't
Yeah.
track, but the first part, it's the allusion to like, you know, they're all like addicts who don't have their magic.
Oh, for sure. That one I get. The
celibacy?
forced celibacy. Because we've seen a lot of, or you've seen a number of scenes with her, and I've never thought celibate.
Well, I'm wondering if there's something that like we can't no, because even then, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
She once again tells me I need to go back. I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought we were just gonna grab a quickie in the car. And she's like, yeah, that sounds great, except I don't have a car and you're fucking dying. And I'm like, well, it's worth it. She tells me to go once again. I say, I love you. She's like, go, please. And then I travel.
Okay, it's probably because the celibacy is probably just because they
I
can't
don't have
spend
time.
time together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Why are you dying? From the poison?
The poison, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we know that?
We established this at the end of the
Yeah,
last
but
season.
how
Well,
long do you have?
We'll talk about that.
Okay, now I'm like confused. All right.
'Cause we don't know at this point though, right?
No, I don't.
I don't think so.
You don't know how I'm still alive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Interesting. So our next scene, Margot and Elliot are out in the deep, deep woods, and we've, I guess, maybe found or hope that if we get far enough away from the castle, that then we can talk.
Well, this is also like, this is when you explain to me what you figured out, though. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
Elliot's put this together. So I think it's both getting away physically from people overhearing, but also we're now going to talk in code. Like, Elliot has realized that, like, what the actual core of the issue is, and that he says that, do you remember Battlestar?
Like Galactica?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and-
Battlestar the show, which
and
I wish that I had seen. It's been on my list for
I
like
haven't seen it
15
either.
years. As somebody who loves sci-fi, I should have seen it by now. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's
I
kinda
don't.
embarrassing.
I don't get it.
Am I the only one here who's seen it?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Wow.
this show's so good.
I know. They keep on talking about Grace Park,
Okay,
and
so,
that Margot
I want-
is Grace Park.
Yeah. So
That's
do you
the start of
understand
this.
what the solution to this puzzle is? If he says to you, as somebody who's watched Battlestar,
Yeah.
and she's like, "You're Grace Park," she's like, "Oh, I'm Grace Park," and like,
Is she a Grace Park, Brian?
do you know
Grace
what he's
is-
trying to
okay.
communicate?
Channel your nerd.
It's been forever. I've not
Okay,
seen it since the
don't
show was
worry.
new. I believe Grace was the mechanic who was a Cylon and didn't realize it.
Oh, spoilers.
Yeah, I mean that
That's
lines
actually
up.
it. That's
yeah.
that's basically it.
Yeah.
So basically, they're saying I'm an unwitting sleeper agent.
Yes.
Yes.
And the reason that she can hear and see and do everything that I'm hearing and seeing is because she's holding my eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
That is how they're tracking me.
Ah.
And we are talking and so I have to do. I don't get the. I'm so sorry to let down my sci-fi lovers that I don't get the Battlestar reference. But what I do get is that they are kind of also doing a reference to one of the best episodes of television of all time, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra from Star Trek TNG, which I do get. It's one of
Yeah.
my favorites of all time, where it's basically an entire species that communicates entirely in memetics,
Yes.
where it's just like shared cultural history instead of a followable like syntax-based language. There's no nouns, there's no verbs. It's all like Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra is everyone knows the story about Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, and the lesson that you learn from that is what they are trying to impart when they say that.
Yeah.
Or like Kimba with his arms wide. That means something to them based on the story about Kimba and who he was and opening his arms. So
I can't have cheeseburger.
basically
yes.
it. Yeah, it's
Yes.
kind of exactly it. It's very good.
So he says, so what we need to do is the best episode of Buffy, and you see Margot go, musical, and he goes, the other
The
best
other one.
episode,
And then it
which
just
is
says hush. We need to
like,
be
so there are
quiet.
some
Nailed it.
translations here.
Yeah.
And so we do like. And we're talking like, oh, this person is XOXO Gossip Girl, and like, what would Harry do without his wand?
Harry Potter?
And then he's like, I didn't really read those either. And she's like, no, our Harry. And then we realize we're talking about Quentin, and we build all these references to like different TV shows and stuff, and
It is very
Is it easy to follow?
well because they add subtitles.
They-
They
yes.
actually
That is
add
plain
they
subtitles.
add subtitles.
That's
yes.
funny.
It is impossible to follow. I wouldn't have been able to
I
follow
love-
without the
I wonder
subtitles.
if-
I love
you didn't have-
subtitles for English phrases, but extrapolating what they actually mean.
I've seen every other show that they are, or book that they are referencing, because it's Song of Fire and Ice.
Yep.
It's
Which I get
XOXO Gossip Girl,
haven't seen
which
it.
I've seen. It's Harry Potter.
Yep.
And it's what
Buffy's
else?
in there.
Buffy,
Battlestar's in there.
Battlestar
I've seen
Galactica. Obviously, Star Trek was the overarching thing, but you don't need that to follow.
No, and honestly, I think that was just Gene
young Sheldon?
Roddenberry doing memetics. But anyway,
No.
it doesn't-
And
No
then
young
they
Sheldon in there?
reference the actual children's book from Fillory, but they don't say it by name. They like
Yes.
use you at
Yeah.
Quentin as a way to kind of get around to that. What would he do? It was basically like a what would Jesus do? What would our Harry Potter do? And that's Quentin. So that's how many steps down it is.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But then they realized that you would consult the tomes or whatever,
Yeah.
and so we mean read the books of Fillory.
because while the fairies might have taken all the books out of Fillory about them, there are probably references to fairies in Fillory and Fervor.
Yeah.
And they can't have removed all copies of Fillory. I mean, maybe they could have, but the thought is that on Earth, there are still copies of Fillory and
people
Fervor.
still have the book.
And you still have your knowledge, which is encyclopedic. So maybe there's an answer
Yeah.
outside of this.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That's fun.
And
Yeah.
so that's the end
It was
of
a
my
good scene.
episode.
Oh, is it? I still have a lot. Don't worry. Yeah, good stuff.
I'll run through a scene.
Yeah, do it.
So we're now at the bottom of the stairwell with a bottle of liquor in a brown paper bag.
Wow, fun.
So
No wonder you're not invited into the
yeah,
party.
and we're like kind of like lying down on the stairs, and we're like, "Are we fun yet?" And we're clearly drunk, and also not very fun.
no.
And Julia starts talking about some like dance that we made up in the 10th grade, and she's like, "It was terrible. It was so white and bad." Which is most of my dancing too, so I get it.
I get it.
And Quentin's like, so they kind of both stand up, and Quentin's like, it was very hip thrusty, if I remember. and so they start like doing this fucking horrible dance, and like, I'm glad I'm watching Nostalgia because I can deal with cringe. You would have like cringed into dust. It's very
Cringed
bad.
into Dust is a great autobiography name.
And so they're doing this dance while singing Ayo Technology by 50 Cent.
Oh my god.
Ayo.
Makes
Yeah.
it worse.
Which definitely makes it worse.
Makes it worse.
And so we
Not a
do
bad
this
song.
No,
terrible-
but it's a bad one to dance poorly and hip
Yeah.
thrust
yeah.
too.
And so they're doing this terrible dance while like kind of like jumping up the stairs, and the door opens and Bacchus is there and like welcomes us in. We
Okay.
like high five him, which is not cool. And
Drunker
like,
you get, the cooler high fives are.
yeah, I
so-
guess. And so we like, all of a sudden drinks appear in our hand, and so we get a little bit of the vibe of the party. It's like 95% people in like rave clothing.
Okay.
There's one furry,
How many glow sticks?
a decent amount. Yeah. One furry, a couple, 2 to 3 people in like formal wear.
Okay.
Well, that for the god of hedonism, one furry. That's all we can do.
Yeah, it's a bunny.
I just wanted to say,
Hey,
fursuits are
hey.
expensive.
A
They
white-
probably
a
couldn't
white
afford
rabbit.
too many.
Furries?
Hey,
Fursuits
we like it. Chase the
are
white rabbit.
expensive.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
So you're telling me
this
that
television
furries
show,
are all like there is a direct correlation between furries in the real world and high income earners?
Yes, they're all computer programmers.
like
Yikes.
a fursuit is like crazy expensive. I'm not kidding. Like the reason
Like a good one is like you're spending 15
there was
grand.
a Hollywood movie that was about furries, and they could not afford good enough fursuits. I've seen better fursuits.
Dog shit ass movie. Don't
Like-
ever watch Pottersville.
Man,
Oh, I imagine.
are you a furry? No, I don't make enough
And
money.
like they literally had, who was in that movie? Like
Everybody.
it was like
what's his face?
extremely famous
Christina
actors
Hendricks
Yes.
and
who were cheaper than the fursuits.
Ian
We can't
McShane's
afford
in that
enough.
movie.
I'm not
and
kidding.
Judy Greer's in that movie. Oh,
Yes.
I hate that movie.
Anyway,
I
sorry.
had a friend in college who had a really expensive suit, and he had like a thing inside of his like gloves, where when he like pulled them, it like blinked eyelids.
Oh my
Awesome.
gosh, yeah.
Yeah, like would have full like animatronic. Like he
Yeah.
would like twist
Oh.
his arms and his eyes would kind of like move, and he had something for his like tongue and jaw. Like he
Yeah.
wouldn't do full like motion
Hottest
with it.
puppy at the party.
But, yeah,
Here's
he
the
was a
thing.
fox,
I
but
mean, the even like for Disney, and nobody wants to call those fursuits, but
what are you gonna do?
their
Oh, God.
costumes.
Disney's ruined. There's just furries everywhere.
That's what it is. Anyway, I don't get it, but like they have like gestures now, so the suits track like hand gestures. Defunctland did a great video about this. Highly recommend. But like they're like digital now, but they do gestures, which makes the fursuit react. But very similar.
Yeah.
Like anyway,
Yeah, it's cool.
And so like we want to talk, and he's just like trying to get us to do shots basically. And like I'm like, oh, now we've done shots, can we talk? And he's like, I'm the god of not being a wiggly little anxious wet dish rag, so I need you to unclench your vagina and do that shot, or I'm moving on. So I do the second shot.
Okay, yeah, get you.
And he's like, what do you want to do now? Twister? You want to pierce something? I've got Trivial Pursuit Star Trek. And he like starts like leaving. And Julia runs up to him and is like, magic and how it's gone. And he like doesn't, I guess he like stops, right? And he's like, oh, like he didn't know magic had disappeared.
Because
for
it's not
humans.
gone for him, probably.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not.
Right.
He's constantly like making shots appear and shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, that sucks for you. Like, why? and Quentin's like, I sort of killed a god, like a minor god. And he's like, who the fuck did you kill? And I'm like, Ember and Fillory. And he like stares at me for a second. He's like, I don't know that guy. And he's like,
that like tracks though.
No, that guy.
Why does he sound so cool?
He's
I'm
all
so-
Well,
right.
he's the
No.
god of hedonism.
He's all right.
What do you mean?
a chill god who's just like, I don't know that guy. It's the same reason why I love people in cosplay doing mundane things. The presentation is this grandiose thing, and then it's Superman having a hot dog.
It works every time.
Anyway, he's like, open your mouth. And I like open my mouth, and he like puts a pill in my mouth and walks away. And then that's kind of the end of the scene. Next thing you have a little drug trip sequence.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
We love to start a
Are you
season
gonna
with the
get your
drug trip.
magic back through magical
No,
drugs?
I have
No.
so much left
You're
in
not
this
gonna
episode, and
microdose?
none of it is me getting my magic
Oh,
back.
that's too bad.
I'll do one scene, bro. I'm assuming we're bouncing back and forth. Because Mike, you got
Probably,
one
yeah.
left too, right?
I got one left.
Yeah, just keep the camera
How
on
many do
this
you-
side of the couch.
You've-
Like 5.
Okay, and
Oh,
Staj, you
God.
have one left?
No, I'm
Saj is
done.
You're done?
It's just me and you.
All right,
Bae.
we'll keep the camera right here.
Let's keep it on the white every once in a while. Just make sure they're not falling asleep over
Oh
there.
no! I was about to leave.
Stay with us.
Is Mike like a cutout?
So the guy, the main court person. What do we just call them? Advisor. The main court advisor dude. His name's Tick.
You're Jafar.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's evil. He could be. We know that he's embezzling money, but that's small potatoes.
That is small potatoes.
But his name's Tick. We never got a name. I knew that he had to have a name. He's in like every episode.
Yeah, and we just don't care.
We don't care.
Which actually tracks for our characters.
Yeah,
so.
it's true. But I call him Tick. Now I'm out in the same woods that I was in with Margot when we were doing the Tanagra thing, and I have a big bow and he's carrying my arrows, kind of doing a squire kind of thing. You get the sense that I asked him to come out on some kind of adventure. He's like, I thought you said there'd be copious amounts of drinking on this trip, sire. And I was like, yeah, well, I had to say something to kind of like get us out of the house, basically. Like I had to tell him we were up to something. And he's like, oh, so there's no drinking. I was like, no, but what we do have is like invaders. And I just lay it down because I have found out that the only person who we cannot talk to about this is Margot.
Right.
Because you're the one who they're tracking because they have your eye. So I feel safe telling Tick about my plan. And I was like, what we're going to do, and the reason why we're out here, we are hunting. And, that was the idea is we're going to get drunk and go for a hunt.
Yeah.
We are hunting, but we're not hunting like elk or boar or whatever. We are hunting the White Lady, who's that magical being that I think Penny and
She's the one who gets
Quentin-
witches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So we're gonna,
Oh.
so I'm going to shoot her with the bow.
Yep.
We're going to trap her.
That's all you gotta do.
Yep. And then I'm going to ask
It
her.
wasn't that hard, actually.
Yeah.
Feels like maybe we should like
We stumbled our high
do
asses
this
into that.
again. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That you had a better wish we could have maybe used.
Yeah.
Get the fairies out of here.
You have one wish in all of the universe.
I wanna go home.
What do you want? Can I get some more horsey
Can I
sauce?
get a ride home?
Are you my Uber?
Can you
Call me
refill
an
the
Uber?
gas in my Prius?
Can I get 5 for gas?
Quentin is the worst. Anyway.
He's
So
starting to grow on me, even though he is the worst.
Oh,
Yes.
he's a
Yes,
good kind of the
that's
worst.
true.
He is the good kind of the worst. Him like hip thrusting his way into a bacchanal is funny. Anyway, so I say I'm gonna shoot the White Lady with the bow. We're gonna snag her. We're gonna ask a wish. We're gonna wish the fairies into a cornfield. Bob's your uncle. We solved our problem. And he's like, oh, okay, well. And I was like, he puts a little map underneath his chin. And I was like, here's where we're going. And we get a little bit of a cut forward. Tick is no longer with me in this like next scene, but Elliot is kind of walking through the woods with a bow and arrow, and I have like one notched, and I hear some rustling inside of just a bush or like some like trees, little like fen or whatever. Not my wife. And I approach, and there's kind of this like giggling, but it's not White Lady voice giggling. Elliot doesn't make the assumption right away, but it's very clearly like a masculine presenting voice. It's a little bit gravelier. But Elliot is still like, are you the White Lady? Like, show yourself, or I'm going to shoot an arrow into that bush. And he's like, you're just going to shoot into the bush? That's not very nice of you. Like, how about you give me a compliment rather than a threat? And I was like, what? And he's like, I'll start. From the hips down, you look very cute, or something, because he can only see like Elliot like below the waist because I'm like behind a tree or whatever. And I was like, what? Your voice sounds sexy. And he's like, oh, really? And I was like, and regal. And he's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And the next thing you know, they're like the bushes part, or he like steps out, and the guy looks like, and what I wrote down, and let me know if this makes sense in your mind's eye. He looks like a Rudo mixed with a buff Elton John with a massive 8-foot peacock tail.
Sorry, what was the first
what
word?
was the
A
first?
Rudo, the bird people from Legend of Zelda.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
The Rudo, yeah. He looks like a Rudo mixed with a buff Elton John
Okay.
and an
Okay.
8-foot wide peacock tail.
Okay.
So 2/3 bird, 1/3 Elton John.
Yeah. It kind of looks like, I don't want to necessarily reference Rick and Morty, but he looks like Bird Person. But if he had a giant peacock tail, but he's like,
Does he have a beak?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think. I can't really remember. He's like all mixed bird. His chest is kind of feathered. His big massive pecs, super strong arms, like very clearly a debonair, sexy bird creature.
So he is sexy.
He is sexy.
Okay.
Okay.
It's in the like.
Would you say he clucks?
Oh my god.
Mike, hold on to that one. We'll get back to that.
Oh no.
But yeah, so he seems ostentatious because he's supposed to be presenting like peacock / like mystical creature / like human vibes. So, big ostentatious thing. And he steps out and he says, "I am the great cock of the Darkland Woods." We found another magical being. He's the great cock. And he's like, "Have you ever beheld a great cock, Sir Elliot?" And I was like,
my god.
"I've beheld one or
Many.
two." He's like, "Oh, well then, let's chat." And he kind of shepherds me over to a little clearing where we have a conversation. But why don't we see what Quentin's up to, since we both got a lot of scenes.
Anything
it's-
that interesting?
It's the drug trip sequence.
Okay.
That's
Obviously.
just as interesting as great cock. I am.
Everybody around me has very little to no clothes on.
Okay.
Quentin obviously still has his outfit on. He sees
He's put
the
on
back
more
of somebody's
clothes.
head that he's convinced it's Alice, and they're wearing kind of more Alice's normal attire, sweater or whatever. And then what I can only assume is a flashback sequence. It's kind of intercut in I see Alice in the present day. It cuts to the flashback, whatever. And in the flashback is Alice leaving the cottage. She's I think she has a suitcase and she's full on leaving.
The cottage, as in the
Physical
South Pole
kids cottage.
Oh, the kids' cottage.
The
got it.
campus,
Yeah,
right?
campus got it.
And she's like, "I can't do this. I can't study dead magic." And I'm just like, "Can we talk?" And Alice is saying, "I thought if we hung out, maybe had sex, I don't know, went to school, it would feel like it did. I thought I could forgive you, but I can't." And she's basically you should say goodbye. And she kind of storms out, and I say goodbye, Alice. And I back in the present day at the party, grab her shoulder, turns around, it's not Alice.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that whole sequence.
Okay.
Interesting.
So Alice has left.
Is it because she would have had magic as a Niffin?
Probably.
Is that what the
Maybe actually, yeah.
issue is? Okay.
I mean, that's not really broad. She's like, "I thought I could forgive you," not adding the loss of magic as new information.
Though she
I
did
guess.
say if I she did say I wouldn't have come back to study dead magic or something. So
Yeah.
that also seems to be part of why she's pissed.
I think she's she's upset about the state of the world
Yeah,
on top
right.
of
on top of
our
everything.
relationship. Yeah. So
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Who could possibly be frustrated with the state of the world on top of everything?
I got 3 more big scenes.
All
or
right,
medium
cool.
scenes.
Yeah, I got about that. So we'll keep going back and forth here.
We got a little mini vacation over here.
Yeah. Enjoy the time. Enjoy the time. So I'm walking and talking with the great cock, and we sit inside of this clearing, and so it's just this again, that's a nice little clearing in the woods, and as soon as Elliot goes to sit down, it's poof, 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 and stuff just kind of appears. There's a fancy kind of ornate tea set, and a chandelier pops down, and then soft classical music starts playing, and Elliot kind of legitimately perks up. He's like, "I like your style." And he's like, "Well, you can't have a conversation with a god without ever," or maybe he doesn't say god, but he's like, you can't have a conversation with the great cock or some magical creature without some amount of pomp. And I was like, "I agree." And I go and pick up a teacup and I start sipping. He's like, "So what did you want to beseech me about? Why'd you come here with the bow to try and kill the white lady? What's up? What's going on? Let's chew the fat a little bit." And I was like, "Well, I need help with a fairy thing, actually." And he goes, "Tribal matriarchies, the worst."
Oh no.
We don't get a bunch of sexist stuff,
Yes,
but
but
I do think he knows the fairies. He's like, "Oh, they fucking suck, man."
I mean, look at his name.
Yeah,
I
the great
he's
cock
a
tribal
god of
matriarchies.
this. That's fine. I get
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So he's like, "So why'd you come to me? What do you think where'd you go to the white fairy?" And I was like, "Well, I was trying to find the white fairy to get the wish." And he's like, "Wishes. I don't know about that." He's like, "How many times have you wished for something and then kind of got fucked in the ass?" And I was like, and we start
I
thinking
trust
back.
him more now.
Yeah, you gotta tell us it's you don't get wishes in this world without them slightly backfiring, or in any world. That's kind of the thing, right? And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "How about this? I got a better idea for you. What if I instead gave you a great purpose, a dangerous, sort of long-running, great sort of quest. And if you achieve the quest, it's not directly going to solve your fairy problem, but in so completing the quest, your fairy problem will be trivialized. How does that sound?" And Elliot's like, okay, but the problem is, Mr. Greycock, sir, I do need this to be solved now. Like the fairies are in my kingdom, like they're abducting people, like I don't need a great long quest. Like, how long are we talking about when we say long quest? He's like, I'd say like a season. Like, legitimately says a season.
That's very funny.
Yeah, right.
God damn.
That's really
It clearly
funny.
means like spring, right?
Yeah. There's
very
enough
clearly.
plausible
But
deniability. That's so
all-knowing
good.
God.
Yeah, there's a like a pause, and he doesn't wink at the camera, but it's a
Might as well have.
it's a posturing, right? Like, they know what they're doing here. And Ellie's like, it's like, I don't know, I really do need that like help now. Would this quest return the magic? And he's like, again, like kind of an indirectly thing. Like, the quest is out, like through the quest, magic will be returned, and through returning your magic, could you probably solve the fairy problem? And Ellie's like, yeah, I mean, I guess if we had magic back, it would sure make everything a lot easier. It's like, so you do the quest, you get the magic, you solve the fairy problem. How about that?
I don't trust this guy.
And I was like, he's like,
The white lady also didn't fuck us over with our wishes, did she? Like
No.
Penny got your hands back, right? Is that what you got?
No, they were messed up.
They're
right?
still
Yeah,
not
they
great.
shouldn't. Yeah.
What
again,
did
that's
she
what
do?
Great Cock is saying.
Wow, it feels like it's 9 years ago. Did I get back like wooden?
No,
Yeah.
That was the
I had the wooden-
the
centaur?
wooden was a centaur magic thing, right?
I think I got back hands, but they still.
They
You
tried
had
to
to
kill
like
you.
relearn them?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to
No,
relearn.
no.
No.
They were trying to kill him before.
Oh, was
Yeah.
that before?
I think this is when you just got your hands back.
No, because I
Cut them off.
But
and
you had
then-
to train
I-
for it,
I-
and you still can't really use it.
Yeah,
I thought you got like new hands, but you don't have your muscle memory or whatever.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like that's a trick wish.
No,
Well,
they did as much as they could.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, if you can do a wish, there's not really a reason you can't get your hands back and know
Yeah,
how to
I
use them
actually
right away.
agree that
like, it does
100%.
take something away. Like,
Yeah.
they did, maybe it wasn't like deal with the devil like Crossroads at midnight with a banjo kind of shit, but like it's still something, right?
And-
I want $1 million. All right, here's a little. Here's a little nest egg. Invest that.
Yeah, this isn't a Twilight Zone bit, but it's
Yeah.
still not perfect, right? So yeah, he says, does that sound like a plan? And he's like, I guess. He's like, but you're gonna have to travel to a land where you're no king, and obviously you're no magician because you don't have any magic. You're just gonna be a man during this quest. And I was like, honestly, that sounds like something I kind of fuck up. And he's like, well, you have friends, don't you? Like, this isn't something you have to do alone.
get the gang back
Get
together.
the gang. Honestly, it's what he's saying. And I was like, when he says friend, and this may be telling, we'll see if this comes back around. And he's like, you have friends, don't you? And Elliot says, and he thinks for a second, he's like, I used to. So I think he might be feeling a little disconnected from his friends. Obviously,
Yeah.
people aren't coming to visit as much. Margot is a little bit more of like an emperor rather than a friend recently. Like, things are kind of, there's some animosity brewing below the surface. And so I tell him I used to, and he starts running down the list. Interesting list. He says, the one-eyed conqueror, pretty easy, Margot, right? The traveler, pretty easy, Penny. The warrior, Alice?
Maybe.
No, maybe. Maybe Alice? I don't know.
Katie.
Katie? Probably Katie. Katie the warrior, battle magic. That makes more sense. The fool. I was
Quentin.
thinking Quentin,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not, because we get to Quentin later.
Oh,
Right.
Josh.
Josh.
Maybe the Josh the Fool. That kind of makes sense. The god touched Alice, probably.
Julia.
No, Julia.
Oh, Julia touched. I got it
Yeah.
now. So that's Julia then. So then Julia can't be the warrior though. Oh no, Katie.
Katie.
That was
Katie's
Katie.
the warrior. Okay, so Katie's the warrior. The god touches Julia. The fool is Josh. The lover of tomatoes.
The lover of
The lover of tomatoes.
No idea.
I don't know.
That feels like comedian, like. It's like comedian
Wait,
tomatoes thrown.
Is that Josh? What was he growing in the? Like, wasn't
They
he
were
growing?
carrots.
Oh, they were
Carrots.
carrots.
Psychedelic
They were
carrots.
carrots.
So I'm not sure what the
the
tomatoes.
lover of tomatoes.
The lover of tomatoes.
All right.
Anyway, and then there's another one. And the torture artist.
Torture artist.
And Elliot says, wait. What was the last one? He's like, I was like, I lost you there at the end. And the guy's like, no matter. And the floppy hair. And I was like, oh, that's Quentin.
Yeah.
So Quentin isn't
The fool.
the fool. So so that's probably Josh. So I'm still not sure the torture artist or the lover of tomatoes.
Interesting.
Those are the two that I don't got. But he seems, and you don't get the sense that this is just him like spouting nonsense. Everyone else is kind of in there.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind for the
Yeah.
podcast. All right. And he says that nobody can do this quest alone, let alone myself. And the quest is to go to the source of all knowledge, the library open to all in the land of Chester in the kingdom of New Jersey. So I have to go to the Chester, New Jersey Public Library. That's the quest. Okay. And he claims that this is the task I was born for. And Elliot kind of like sits up like he rises to the occasion. And I got 2 big scenes left.
All right, I got 3. So it's Josh and Julia at the party, and they're just like smoking, and Julia does her like smoke ring magic that we've seen before.
Cool.
So she like makes a star, and then it like kind of folds apart into smaller stars or whatever. And Josh is like, "How'd you do that?" And Julia's like, "I don't know yet." And I kind of like see this and drag Julia out of the room, basically like chastising her for showing that she can still do magic.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't need that
dangerous.
heat.
Yeah.
True.
And Julia's point here, I do like, and I wish that like this speech here was maybe a little more impassioned or what, like maybe she's just still kind of putting her thoughts together on this, but she's basically saying that like she doesn't want to go through life not trusting people. Like she should be able to trust Josh with the fact that she has magic and like, you know, she like her ability to do magic is important to so many people because it can give them like hope for the future. Like you've seen how kind of bleak everybody is acting around this stuff right now. And she's like, Josh is somebody whose entire life might change if he could just see it. Right. Like she's like, I can't be so precious with something that's so small because she can't do like big spells either. Right. She can make little sparkles appear or make smoke rings. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, well, as far as we know, for us little guys, it's the only magic out there. So like we kind of have a difference of opinion here, kind of understandably so. I kind of see both sides of this, but yeah, I mean that's really kind of it for that scene.
Okay, Mike, do you want to hit us with your last scene?
Sure.
Why don't we do that? We haven't heard from you in a little while. Make sure you're still awake.
So this is Buffy, right?
As an angel, Xander walks into a bar.
Yeah. So if we start off with a shot in space.
The final frontier.
Nerd.
Is on the voyage.
He's trying to regain his like sci-fi cred.
I just keep talking about TNG.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I know.
And there's a shot of a planet that looks like it's crumbling as it gets sucked into a like wormhole.
Okay.
But nothing's like actively moving from what I can tell.
It kind of sounds like Fillory. Fillory has that vibe look to it, where it's like a part of a crust of the earth, and then kind of like
it's clearly an
out
establishing
coal.
shot. Where are you?
Yes. So we jump into a library, and the librarian is telling me I was gone too long.
So you're not there. You go back to the library.
Yeah, we'll explain. I'll explain why I set that up. And I'm like, was I? And then I collapse to the ground, like coughing up blood. And she tells me that I have to move quickly out there. Every time I leave this branch, I go somewhere where time moves normally and where time progresses.
So you're still alive and you haven't been killed by poison because time doesn't move the same way here.
Exactly. And I'm like,
even though your job is to leave here and collect books.
Almost broke my mic live on camera.
You think there could be like another job at the library?
Yeah, just one where you get like custodian.
No, they hired him because he was a traveler. This is why they hired him.
Yeah. Because he's like, where time progresses. And like, then I finish the sentence of like, so does my super cancer. I know. It's a pity the best y'all could do was a place where time stopped. You know, time going backward, that would be better. So where we are is a library hideout on I assume on a planet where time has stopped.
Well, I think that you're a standard library time. Or do you get the sense that this is a different library? Because it sounds to me like you just went
feels
home.
like we ran.
Interesting.
I don't know because I
would
feel
know.
like
I
feel like the
the
shot that I've seen in this library is one I haven't seen before.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the
Could
last
just
time
be
I
production stuff with season changing. Though.
Yeah.
True.
But I definitely felt like the
last
library
season felt like
it
we
was
were
slowed
evacuating.
down. Yeah, and also the library, like in the Netherlands, I thought time slowed,
Yes.
not stopped.
Exactly.
So
Time moves slow in the Netherlands, but now we're in a place where time doesn't move.
right.
Got it.
And I'm like, yeah, if only you went to a place where time moved backwards. And she's like, hey, I've been giving you assignments that shouldn't take more than an hour. I don't want you. And I'm like, to die? How sweet of you, considering you poisoned me. And she's like, you know that wasn't me. No one wants you to die. And I'm like, I know. Travelers were hard to come by, right? Like, she's like, I wish you wouldn't be so cynical. Thank you for getting the book. You need to rest. And then it's like this, how is it out there? And I'm just like, depressing. Like very much seeing how people are reacting to the new status quo.
To the magic not existing.
That's my scene. That's my episode.
Do you want me to go? I'll run through one more.
Run through one more, and then I'll probably do two, and then you finish.
Yeah, I'm going to finish off the party stuff.
Cool.
So I'm back with Bacchus, how do you pronounce it? Bacchus. And I'm just like, I don't know, I'm like trying to fake being a chill party guy. And I'm like, like, oh, whatever you put in my mouth made me feel like sugary cereal. And he's like clearly kind of just like bored of Quentin because Quentin's kind of boring.
I would kind of be too.
And Quentin's like, let's do shots. And then like grabs shots. And then he kind of like gives me this like kind of half-hearted smile and does the shot with me or whatever. And Quentin's like, so anyways, while you're here, maybe I can ask you a few questions. And then Bacchus is like, historically, I do smite vibe killers. And I'm just like, I just want to get a word in with your parents.
Wow. What a way to kill the party tones. Can I talk to your dad, man?
And Bacchus replies, imperious and distant dickwads who I haven't spoken to in a millennia.
Trying to remember who Bacchus. Is it like Aphrodite? Bacchus has like godparents that I knew at one point.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
Godparents are like godparents.
Nice.
Both.
Nice.
And so he's just like talks to like somebody else at the party. He's like, hey, let's get that fun gun going. And like, I don't know, some dude who's half asleep gives him like a thumbs up or whatever. And he's like, if you want to fix magic, then you should talk to this crazy guy I talked to in Athens one time. And we're like, who is it? And he like gets the name from some other guy. He's like, oh, what's that guy's name? He's like, oh, it's Prometheus.
Oh.
Sure.
And he's like, that guy loved magicians and he would love to help you. And then the same guy is like, oh, he's dead. He died like 1,500 years ago. He's like, oh, sorry.
Prometheus is dead.
Interesting.
Important.
And Bacchus is like, well, he lived a pretty tortured existence, so dying was probably a relief for him. So, but still, he would have loved to have helped you. He told me this crazy story one time about the secret back door to magic. I don't remember the deets. My face was melting off. And then I'm like, okay, like that's not very helpful. Like not a lot to go on.
It's a little helpful.
But,
Yeah.
Like it isn't, right? There is a secret back door. That's all we know.
Well, at least you got a direction.
And then kind of Bacchus is like, wait, it might have been a brothel. Shots! And he like grabs more shots and we start doing shots. And then that's the end of the party scene for me.
Cool.
Interesting.
I'll finish up my episode here, and then you can.
I got one little thing.
If
If you have two scenes,
cool. Yeah, I got two scenes, and it all ties into the bunny thing, which I'm assuming you're going to find in the next one. So back in the throne room after our interaction with the Great Cock or mine, I don't know what happened to Tick. I like took him into the woods. He didn't bring him back. Yeah, I'm sure he got a scene with maybe the White Lady or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't have any confirmation he's dead, but I also can't confirm he's alive. So the dude who I didn't know, who found us the hallway that ended up not working out, but he seems like he's on our side, is talking to the sloth. And I walked into the room, and you could tell they're having a little bit of a chat. And I'm like, hey, can I get just a little point of clarification? He's like, yes, sir. What's going on? And I was like, those bunnies that I saw the fairy queen talking to, what's their kind of deal? And he's like, oh, well, the fairies use them to chat across worlds, between dimensions. And I was like, okay, and so why can they do that? And he's like, well, rabbits have a really easy time hopping between worlds. They're like known for that, which is kind of a thing that's just generally about like spirituality and like, ghost bunnies hopping in and out of spirit planes and stuff. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, so what about, are they like, are they all owned by the fairies? Like do rabbits just work for fairies and they can hop in between worlds? He's like, nah, it's more of like an every rabbit for yourself situation. And I was like, oh, I see. And then the next shot, we're in a hallway, and it's like 9 rabbits and like 3 people, and they're all like whispering, like, the keys, we're have to go on a quest. And they're all like talking and hopping around. We're trying to like pick them up and hold them to our ears and like scratch notes down on like some paper, and at some point like everyone's kind of getting like flustered, and Fenn's there, and she's like holding a rabbit and talking to it like a baby, and there's like cacophonous kind of like noise and hopping and movement, and it's like, well, everyone just shut up for a minute, and all the rabbits go quiet and like still, and then Fenn's like, ooh, and I like start scribbling down, and we get a little bit of a cut forward, and I get the sense that I have sent these out to all of our friends.
Yeah, so I have like a 2-second scene where I'm like hungover, waking up on the couch, and there's a bunny in the physical kid's cottage.
Right.
And the rabbit's like, need help, love Elliot. And that's it.
Cool. So I must have sent those out to everyone with a little bit of a message like, hey, here's what I learned. There's a quest. I forgot to mention this in the scene with the great cock. Part of the quest is I go get a bunch of keys, and those keys unlock a door, blah, blah, blah. We don't get a lot of information here. But regardless, I have sent them out, and people have responded back to me. And so Quentin and Julia think that the one of the first keys I need to find, because apparently there's multiple, is in Fillory. And I turned to the guy who's been leading me around, and I was like, hey, do you have any idea where the and I look at my page, and I forget the name of it.
My scene might be before yours then.
Oh, maybe.
Based on that.
But it's called After Island, and this is pretty much the end of it. And he says like, oh, and I was like, what about After Island? He's like, oh, it kind of lies beyond our border, venturing to like a strange land, like no one's ever come back alive, kind of classic, don't go there, it's dark waters kind of deal. And I was like, how do we prevent that? And he's like, I don't really know. And that's when Fenn kind of pops up, and she's like, I have a boat that is exactly what you need. And that's the end of my episode. So we got our first key that we need to go find. But how do we get that?
So, I mean, I just have a quick scene at that library in New Jersey. I can't remember the name of the city or whatever.
Clifford.
Sure.
Whatever.
And Julia's like leaving the library with a book that she checked out. And she's like, I think this is it. And it's the Tale of the Seven Keys. There is no author listed on the book. She says she can feel something coming off of it, like some sort of energy or something. We're kind of flipping through. There is like one of those cards that's like who checked it out last, but we don't look at that yet. I'm sure we will later.
Yeah.
And like most of the pages are blank, and one of the pages is like, you ever seen those books that were like one of the pages folds out into like a map or whatever? It's like it folds out in like, a page 4 times the size, and it's also blank. And so, Quentin's just like, Jules, this is our quest, and like we're already on it. Basically, like, we found our kind of quest for this season. Yeah, that's my episode.
Okay, cool. So we have 7 keys to find. First one's in Fillory, and I'm sure the other 6 keys are going to be in other planes of existence.
Yeah.
I've played enough D&D campaigns
So
to
we're
know
gonna
this.
jump
Video
around.
game ass shit.
Yeah, jump around, get all the keys, go
And
fight
you're
the big
going to
boss.
have Alice back, probably.
Probably.
Eventually, I guess.
Yeah.
It seems like she was included on the friends list.
Right. I'm really curious to see who the 9 are.
Yeah,
Like,
the tomatoes and the torture artist
Yeah, I'm
are the
curious.
2. Maybe Fenn is one of those, and I just don't get
Yeah.
enough scenes with Fenn. Maybe she's the tomato person or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the torture artist.
Or the honestly,
I'm wondering about the librarian. Like maybe she just is a big fan of tomatoes, and I'll catch that at some point.
maybe.
No, this was a very confusing episode because I'm like, wait a minute, I was dying for most of the episode, right? And then at the end, it's like, oh no, you are still dying. And I'm like, man, this guy, I've never seen someone need health insurance more than Penny.
He needs it.
I don't know how you're supposed to go on this quest if you're dying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Someone's
we'll
got
have
to
to
heal
MacGuffin
me.
that first.
Quest from home.
He Skypes in.
Yeah, I can't do RTO.
we FaceTime him from the library out of time.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you all for
3.
joining us.
See you this Saturday at 1 p.m.
December
for our live
27th,
stream.
at 1 p.m. Central Time.
Vote responsibly.
Please do.
I'm your host, Mike, signing off. Left me as always.
It's Dasha.
Front of me as always.
It's Colin.
And right here, right now.
It's Brian.
We'll see you next time.
Bye forever.
For more information, go to popculturerollcall.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Please subscribe, rate, and review. Our new theme provided by Stephen Rossbach. Find him at StephenRossbach.com for more of his work. Join us next week for another episode of Pop Culture Roll Call.